What's good? It is your girl, Angelface, right here in this video. What I want to come at y'all with today is basically my story up till now. So a lot of y'all never heard of me, okay? So let me fill you in. Angelface, yes, it's spelled very weird. AYNJEWLFAYCC. Who gonna remember that? Well, I made it up when I was 14, and I made it different because you know what? There's so many businesses around the globe. I had to make something unique, and I knew nobody, even if there's rappers out there named Angelface, would not have my spelling. Of course, that made it hard for you, as you know, consumers, to be searching for me. But the deal with that is I made it real simple by saying who raps? Angel Raps at angelraps.com. And that's spelled regular. That's spelled regular. So when I say angelraps.com, it's just the way that you know how to spell it. What I want to get y'all with today is the story. The story up until now. Started a long time ago when I was 9 years old with my baggy pants on, acting all tomboyish and all that. When I first started music, I did do singing. I actually started making music like any kid would, banging their silverware on the table, but the duration that usually lasted a little longer for me. My mom was a little concerned, but you know, it went from that to my pencil box in elementary school. And I even made a song with the ticking of an alarm clock. One of my favorite ones was the rubber bands over the plastic ball. Yeah, I do have a track. It could be on an old cassette tape still, but it was made. I looked up to my sister. She played the piano. Even though I never really played the piano, I still pressed keys, I still made sounds, and she even had this digital piano that played like, you know, the beat, and then you could play some other things, then all of a sudden there's these other things, and then we jamming. So we made songs with that. I had a little girl group called the Cool Girls, you know, but these little girl groups and stuff, they be all getting pissed because I wanted to run shit, so that never really worked out. And my sister did teach me how to use her 4-track, so I was using the 4-track. Back in the day, I would be locked up in the attic for like days. I had my little sign on the door saying recording in progress. Anyone make a sound, I'd be pissed. My brother's friends done walked in, seen me rapping juvenile back that when I didn't even know what they really said because it was back that thing up, you know, with the radio edit. I remember that one time my cousin was like, "You want to know what it really says?" And he told me what it was. I should have put 2 and 2 together when I seen the MTV videos with the girls up there with their hands on their knees. Because my camera likes to shut off in the middle of takes, I had to add some information into this video about some albums that did not get included. So my actual first rap album was called In the Classroom. I made this autobiography in 6th grade on my 4-track, and I played it for the class. I had bought some singles back in the day, some pop singles. They included the instrumental tracks. So I used those instrumental tracks, the first instrumentals I was really able to get a hold of. By the time I was in 8th grade, I decided to do something similar. It was for a history report, the Battle of Chickamauga, and my social studies teacher liked it so much, he actually called me back because in high school we had blocks. So that meant that this same class was going on at a different time during the day. So I went to that class and did it again, and he told me, go tell the guidance counselor, come and watch. I was like, all right. So guidance counselor came and watched. Come to find out, she had her husband who did audio engineering, recording, things like that. So I went into that studio, the first studio I went. My mom had to come because I was under 18. And we did, you know, my in the classroom tracks, the ones that were appropriate. So I put that out on my Bandcamp page. Y'all can see that, listen to that there. But anyways, yeah, I always liked Southern rap for some reason. Maybe because that's what flooded the hip hop when I was growing up. But you know, Tupac wasn't from the South Side, and he definitely was a huge influence on me. But I really steered away from mainstream stuff as I got older. Like, I liked Eminem before he got really hot. So I liked, you know, Gangstar. I liked more underground rap. There used to be the undergroundrap.com web page, and I would go on there. It was called Just Another Face in the Clouds by Angelface. That one I put out when I was in maybe 9th grade, the first year in high school. So yeah, I started doing my own thing. I started using royalty-free beats, and I did hip-hop dance for like 8 years, and I still like performed those. I went to this poetry convention with my mom's. First time I went on a plane, I must have been like 13. And anyone underground, I would like them over anybody. And you know why? Because I always felt like a damn outcast no matter what. I always felt lonely. I felt like nobody, could, whatever. So as soon as I started to make friends, well, they just happened to be the misfit friends. They just happened to be the troublemakers, and those are the people that I vibed with. That's how life went on from there. So, that included hanging out with homeless people because they're always around, and there was homeless kids in my town, Beverly, Massachusetts, that were like 20 years old, homeless. Obviously had not that good of lives, but one of them was a rapper, Praise Down Slave. Okay, I was 14 years old. Long story short, there was about 5 dudes, and they made a group. And no, this wasn't no gangbang shit. Like, they were my homies, and that shit was dope, man. So we got like this little documentary I uncovered from a lost tape that was uncovered, and I put that up. It's long. It's there for the people who really love it. But basically, you can see kind of who I was rolling with at that time. I was getting into some drugs and stuff at that age, but nothing really got a hold of me. I always knew that drugs weren't the way to go. I started making my own beats on Fruity Loops around that time, right after I had put out Just Another Face in Clouds. And although I did make copies of that CD, I didn't really sell too many of them. My next album that I put out was called Street Light, and I made like all the every song on there had its own little picture, and it had its own little description about the song and how it was, where it was recorded, because I did start to do some in-studio stuff. I went to this one place, Audiodrome. I went to another place. It was my sister's friend that did recording. So these were in-studio things before I knew how to do any professional sound recording, but I did use my own beats. And these songs are available on YouTube, so you can see I was like 14 when I made those tracks. And I'm talking some good-ish. That's why I put them out. Digitally distributed it because of the stuff I was saying. Now, I know that's not the type of music that's really in right now, but I wanted y'all to be like, wow, this girl's coming from this. Wow, these are the things she used to say. I like to write from my realizations in life. Even though you have more realizations as you get older, it's not as cool. Like, when you're young and you have these ideas and understandings about life, like, it's really cool. And that's what makes you stand out. But I didn't have anybody to have my back. Like, even at that age, I was driving a pink caddy. In fact, I drove this pink caddy with the license plate sister. I was dressing like this. I'm telling you, all I wanted to do was be a rapper. All I wanted to do was show people I was a G. I had street knowledge, blah, 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 this and that. And it took me a long time to even be able to grow up and act more woman-like. At that point, when I was just like at the end of the high school and I had put out my Streetlight album, it was really hard to sell. Now, I was pushing the green, okay? But I couldn't really push the albums. It was difficult, man. It was really difficult. I didn't know what I was doing. I really didn't. But I had confidence because of what I was saying. I knew what I was saying was timeless. And that's why I still put that out now. Because everything I wrote, the way that I wrote it, I was thinking about all the different ways that people could take this line and how they could apply it to their life, and not using like specifics, so that people could take what I said philosophically and use it to their advantage in life. And I really lost a lot of that as time went on, because it wasn't fresh to me, because I already knew that, because it was old news. Right out of high school, I decided to move to LA, and I decided to go for fashion because there's no school for rappers, and I didn't really know that you might be able to actually make money from being an engineer. And you know what, I really wasn't feeling being an engineer for somebody else. I wanted to do my stuff. Like, that's all I wanted to do was what I wanted to do, and I didn't really want to be an engineer. I wanted to be an artist. But because but when I went out to LA, you know, I did the fashion thing, and I found out that, you know, what people want to buy, what's gonna sell is the black, browns, and whites, and grays, basic colors, you know. And the type of stuff that I made was more like stage clothes, more like, hey, look at me clothes, because that's all I like to do, was be different and rock my style and you know, be my culture and all that. So I was like, well, I need to follow my music dreams. So then I ended up going to Musicians Institute. I did the Independent Artist Certificate program, because that, you know, gave you a well-rounded aspect on everything you needed as an independent artist. The next album I put out after the Streetlight album was the Intermission album. This was like the intermission from, you know, before Christ and when you in it. When I was in LA, I met a group of Christians and a whole Christian rap movement church that was actually cool, because it was filled with culture. So I got into it, but it didn't resonate with me. I put out the Intermission album when I was going to Musicians Institute, and I recorded it, you know, in those studios, and with that knowledge, I got the UPC code. But that's why the Intermission album actually says the real date that it was released, because I was able to get that code. I sent in physical copies to Amazon at that time. Another album I forgot was the Friday night collabs that I was doing while I was in Cali. I made a couple collabs with some local artists that I had, you know, connected with, and some of the artists weren't 100% happy with the outcome of the track, the mix of the track, and how it really went down. But it was all about the experience, all about the process that I shared with everybody. So I never really put out the Friday night collabs. I was also hoping to get more tracks on it, and I was trying to do side hustles. I was trying to work a Mary Kay business since I was in high school. Trying to get all these things going to support my music stuff. And then my job kind of rung me in and made me feel like I needed to do that full time. And then, you know, I end up, because I do, you know, I will speak up on things I don't feel right about. And this chick, you know what, she never even asked for my ID upon hire, trying to say I had a 401k. And it's like, how am I getting a 401k? You ain't even see my damn license. Okay. So I found there was something fishy going on. I spoke up to her supervisor, which is something I guess you don't do. You don't do stuff like that. And next thing I know, I was fired. So I went on unemployment and was like, all right, I'm gonna use this unemployment and try to do my music thing. Wrong idea, because you always need something to support yourself, some real money coming in, something. So I did that until I ran out of money. When I ran out of money, I went back home to Massachusetts. And from there, I tried to make moves. I didn't get a job right away. I stayed at my sister's house, and I made music, and I did a show and all this stuff. And the next thing you know, I found somebody who lived in another state, got hung up, tried to have a family, got the kids taken, Gift of the Indigo, okay, on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description below, because that's the story about that. Alright, so as soon as that paved over and I couldn't even have a family, I tried to have a family, I tried to do a normal life. Alright, that didn't work out. I said, you know what, I'm gonna go back and do my music. So it took a little while. Yes, I made music here and there in the process of all of that, but I didn't really put out any new albums. The Crossback album came after the Intermission because that was my crossback. It was like, yeah, I went and I tried to do this Christian thing and it was like labeled out all cool, but then the Crossback was like, wait a sec, that ain't me. I'm a spiritual person. I don't put labels on stuff. That's not how I roll. I understand the way people believe in all that, but that's a tool. That's a tool to help you. See, I already understood the tool. And the way I talk about it can really get under people's skin because like they look at the whole religious thing so black and white and with all these labels, and that's not spiritual. Spiritual has no labels, okay? So I'm gonna just leave it at that. So my crossback was the crossback to me being me and who I am. And I ended up still doing that shoot here in Maine. I remember I reached out to a photographer so that I could try to get some professional pictures before I got my cam, and really even to help me get certain angles. I didn't get really what I wanted to get, but still those pictures I put out the album work, and then I was able to put out that album. Even though those songs may have been the songs that I was making to get me through all of the BS I was going through and everything else. I made so many albums, I can't even remember them all, so I had to go to my damn Bandcamp page and find out. I made the commercial mixtape album. Let me tell you about that. The commercial mixtape album was my attempt at trying to get people used to my voice and my sound, because I thought that once they heard my voice over tracks that they were familiar with, then they will be more open to hearing my voice over some of the beats that are unfamiliar to them as well. But the problem with that is I can't distribute things that have the instrumental from other people because that's infringement and it's illegal. Those are just things that I have to do, freebie giveaway things, but I still put in work, re-recorded a lot of them, and it was really magical how that album worked out because some of the tracks were remade. You know, some of the tracks were ghost songs. They had the same flow as some of these artists. But some of them were my tracks redone, and somehow they just fit on the original beats that these other artists had put together. They happened to just like unfold and fit in the little blocks with the different sounds and however songs are made. Do I like that album? Kind of, because I like everything I made, but would that be my choice to listen to? No. I don't really like pop songs, but I made it to expand my audience, you feel me? After all the BS, I put out the Synergy Cosmos, and I was really happy about that because Synergy Cosmos was such a cool name. Such a cool name, and it was like perfect, man. Angelface, Synergy Cosmos, like this shit cool. And I used I was able to get like some mainstream sounds and integrate some mainstream flow into it without really changing, you know, me putting out certain messages within tracks. Like I still have some tracks that I'm proud about the messages I'm putting out, but it's always really difficult trying to work with different people and their schedules. I had this one cat out here in Maine I was doing a track with that I did the Friday Night Collabs, was trying to do a new season with. He was pissed, furious. In fact, we don't even talk no more because for some reason he didn't think the videos were gonna be going out. Man, you see me, I set up lights, I set up cams. You getting recorded while we working, and you ain't gonna take ownership for the way that you acted. You're ashamed of yourself. Well, that's too bad. That's the other thing that comes up with working with people. It's like, if you do something, that's you. Why can't everybody know who you are? You want to build up some pride around you and be a fake person? That's why I like to give y'all raw. This is who I am, 100% all the time. I don't change. It took me a while now and then. There was times that I felt like I needed to act prim and proper around certain people. But as I became more comfortable with myself, I've been able to just be me and who I want to be. Especially my move, I plan to move to Texas next year. That's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be able to be myself 100% all the time because people in Texas seem to accept me for who I am and like me. So that's why I'm going there. Now, we bringing you up to speed now. We are ready for the Black Heart album to be dropped. It is 2020, but it won't be dropping until 2021. Black Heart, the first single off this whole thing that's gonna start to erupt, is coming out on December 4th. So get your pants on or take them off. And there was like 3 video shoots for this video coming out on December 11th. And I just wanted to catch y'all up on the speed because I'm gonna be putting out content for like the next 3 years. Alright, so pay attention because it's going down. Aynjewl Faycc, IQ.